Hey everyone, it's James with Crawlersncustoms, and tonight I'm excited because we've got the brand new Traxxas Ultimate Hauler based on the TRX6. Now, unfortunately, it's so large that I couldn't actually film in my normal area here off to my right. This is in the middle of my guest bedroom because this box is huge. So this table is sort of my mobile workbench, and it's a high top kitchen table. You can see the box doesn't even fit on that. So I'm excited to unbox this. We're going to get into it here in a minute. This truck is based on the Traxxas TRX6, so this is not going to be super technical breakdown of the portal gears or the 2-speed transmission or the drive shafts. That's been done. Go watch the TRX6 videos. We're going to focus solely on what makes this truck different, which is the long wheelbase, the scale body, wheels and tires, some of the lighting, and the bed, of course. So let's get into it. So everyone, I'm James with Crawlersncustoms. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, we specialize in hobby reviews, and I especially like product development. That's sort of where my background is outside of the hobby industry. So we make wheels, lift kits, lowering kits, work beds, and I was specifically attracted to the Senna 450 in the beginning. That's what got me back into this side of the business, but we're going to be developing more parts as we move forward, and this is going to be one of the platforms. So I can tell you there's some stuff already in the works with some of the guys that I know, and we're going to be focusing, I think, on performance and scale attributes of this new chassis. I'm really glad that Traxxas finally released a non-snap-on version. That means mere mortals like you and me can get it. We can drive it. We don't have to worry about, our $2,000 or $3,000 investment getting damaged. So I think we're going to see this platform blow up. Tons of opportunity to customize this, whether it be, expedition vehicles, work trucks, tow beds. We're excited. So let's get into the unboxing. All right. The unboxing of the brand new Traxxas Ultimate Hauler based on the TRX6. So this is a sealed box. Let's do the obligatory razor blade. And we got lucky. We are on the front end. So let's see if we can pull this out in one piece. Oh, yeah, that's good. Good Lord, this box is long. All right, so if you guys or girls are married, there is no hiding this from your significant other. You're not going to sneak this in and have them not notice it. So good luck with that. This is probably the largest 10 scale RC that I own. Looks like we might have our transmitter box there. Oh, this looks like it goes straight up. Nice, clever packaging. Drop something. All right, looks like our owner's manual, some stickers, the 4-way metric nut driver, and some extra body pins and some basic tools. We won't need the manual because I've got a lot of Traxxas. Maybe you can see it, but there's an 8x8 behind me. There's a 6x6 that I built after the Hawk Designs wrecker. Got some zip ties here. Alright. Another zip tie up front. Alright, it's packaging. Nice. Body clip. One more. So take a look under the cab. Feels pretty lightweight. This is thin Lexan. And we've got the LEDs pre-wired for the headlights and cab lights. I am honestly disappointed that in almost 2023 here, we've still got holes, body post holes on what I think most people would consider a scale model. This isn't a basher necessarily. So I would have loved to see Traxxas use a system more similar to the new Bronco, but I get it. This Snap-on, this was originally a Snap-on truck and it's a few years old. So maybe they just didn't feel like retooling or doing a redesign, but it's a shame to take such a beautiful body and put giant body post holes in it. So hopefully as the scale community gets a few of these, including myself, we'll start to fix some of those issues. I would love to see a clear cab as well. It is painted black, so there's no hope of doing a scale interior unless Traxxas releases an unpainted clear version of this truck. So this is unlicensed, just says TRX in the front, but you could probably make a Sterling or a Ford grille if you're handy with a 3D printer. And let's move on to the chassis. So like I said earlier, we're not going to get into why this is a Traxxas TRX. We're going to focus solely on the differences. And some of the differences I can see right away are these black chrome diesel tanks and side steps. There's decent scale fidelity here. These look to be injection molded with some sort of chrome, black chrome plastic. It looks nice. Same thing with the front bumper. It's plastic. Get it unwrapped. And let's take a closer look. Get some of the stuff out of the way. All right, so I can tell you 100% these little cradles are not only removable, but you can adjust them, looks like based on your wheelbase and your wheel diameter. So maybe, drift cars versus some of your crawlers. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking, how wide is this? Well, I mean, it's silly, but it's as wide as a TRX 6 or even a TRX 4. So let's go get a crawler. So this has aftermarket method, Vanquish method wheels on it. And you can see, yeah, they stick out, but there'd be, I think, very little hope of getting this to sit inboard of the chassis rails or the flatbed rails. So you're just gonna have to live with it sort of hanging over the sides and strap it down that way. The rail itself feels durable enough. I don't know that I go flipping this down a hill with your crawler strapped to it. But it should do the job, and it can certainly hold the weight. Fits on there pretty proportionally as well, at least lengthwise. So there's our, I think this is about a 13-inch wheelbase crawler, and it fits on. So let's see if I can figure out how to put this body on. There's a couple slots here that line up with the body posts that go through the back. There it is. All right, so it can definitely carry your hauler around. Carry your crawler around, but it's going to hang off the edges unless it's, like a class 1 or a smaller crawler. But this 110 scale RebelCon, I think, is, it's going to be pretty similar to TRX 4s or Axial. Maybe we'll grab our SCX 10.3 up there. So this has some Pro-Beld wheels on it, some Boom Racing, I think. It's off by about a 1/4 inch on either side. It's not far off, but again, if you're going to get inside you're going to get inside the bed on this truck, you're going to have to go pretty narrow. I mean, pretty much flush with your fenders on most crawlers, which not many guys do unless you're doing a class 1 style or high fidelity sort of trail truck. But most crawlers have larger wheels and tires, and they're just not going to fit within the rails on this Ultimate Hauler. So we're going to come right back, and we're going to put one of our Sen 450s, which you guys know I'm pretty fond of, next to it. Let's compare the size. All right, so I'm going to line these two trucks up. The front axle even. This is kind of a stock Sen F450, but it's one of the trucks that we're developing parts with, and this is the prototype tow truck. So yeah, this does work. It's got 2 linear actuators for the elbow and for the boom, but I'm still working on the geometry, and eventually this will need to be made out of machined aluminum to be strong enough for the leverage loads, that a 10 or 15 pound crawler might put on it. So in any case, this is a stock wheelbase Sen F450, which is known to be a pretty big 10 scale truck. And yeah, check that out. So the stock wheelbase of the Sen is shorter than even the distance to the intermediate axle on the Ultimate Hauler. So that'll give you a sense of just how big this is. If you've seen one of the Sen F450s out in real life, it extends easily. Yeah, these noses are lined up exactly up front. It extends a good 10 inches even past this tow boom feature on this 450. So this is a massive hauler. Let's take a closer look now at some of the scale details on it. We'll put our 450 away. All right, so the tandem rear axles have what most people would call a negative offset, and the front wheels have a positive offset. I think that's scale correct. And these are just screw-on covers for traditional M4 sized axle, and this cap threads in directly to the axle, adding some scale detail. So the finish is super nice, even though this is plastic. The finish is super nice and consistent, sort of a black chrome with the scale lug nuts. What we'll probably be doing, since I like customizing, and this is Crawlersncustoms, probably going to throw on some of our billet Alcoa style wheels, which have real 10-bolt lugs, and I think are going to fit pretty well on this truck. And I like the pop of color too, since this is mostly a black truck. So maybe we can get a couple wheels here. See how this is going to look. Yeah, I think I like that pop of color. I also like machined aluminum. I mean, who doesn't? So these will end up dually on the back. And yeah, they're going to stick out a little bit, but I think they're going to look good. So keep an eye on upcoming video for some customization. All right, so let's dive into what makes this the Ultimate Hauler. So really it's the scale details, right? That's why I bought it. I think it looks cool. I think it's going to be a great platform to customize once we can get things like a clear body, maybe even some hard bodies, maybe probably what I'll start working on are some billet aluminum bumpers that are a little bit longer, a little bit more scale. And I'll probably end up lowering this to make it more like a street hauler. Yeah, I think it looks really good. The black color looks awesome. The scale is impressive for sure. It's massive and it's going to perform well. We know this platform. We know the shocks work well. We know the transmission works well. We know the axles are bomb proof. Even the stock ESC and motor are adequate. Probably the only thing that everybody changes is the steering horn and steering servo. If you actually go out in the dirt and rock crawl, you'll find those are the weak point. But everything else is literally bomb proof on these trucks. So we're going to, maybe as early as tomorrow or Sunday, we're going to, even though I know I just said how good the stock ESC and motor are, this is just better. So this is the 2300 2-in-1 from Spectrum. We're going to slap that in and probably next time you see this truck, we're going to have some billet bling on it. I think it's going to look good with the contrast of the black and black chrome on the body. A couple of little scale details before we go. We're going to plug this in tonight, hopefully. We've got lots of working LEDs from the cab lights. I believe these lights on the back of the headache rack and these lights in the bumper all work. So we're going to plug it in here in a few minutes. Maybe we can come back before the end of the video and show what those look like. All right, stay tuned. All right, we've got our XT60 soldered up. Let's plug it in. Now you should turn on your transmitter for this, so we'll say that my transmitter is on. And yeah, check out those LEDs. So let's put the body on. And this is really what I've been looking forward to. I like all the little details like this. So let's plug it in. So we have two open ports here, so we're going to select one of them. Oh yeah, there we go. And let's drop the body on. And we're going to turn off the lights here in a second, but let's show off the headlights. Looks like we have side markers in the headlights as well. We've got our cab lights. We've got side markers all along the side of the bed. And we've got some marker lights on the back of the headache rack. And then finally, we've got our tail lights. So definitely want to put our scale license plate on this one. And let's turn off the lights and see how this thing looks. All right, this will be the first time that I've seen it with the lights off. So let's do it together. And that's pretty cool. So check out those side markers. And the headache rack lights and the tail lights, along with our cab lights. So we'll turn one light back on. All right, so final thoughts. I dig it. This thing is awesome. I think if you've got some other crawlers and you're looking for something fun to add to your fleet, you got to look at this truck. I think it's really incredible value too. At around $650 or $670, you're getting a lot. You could spend a lot more on some other vehicles and not end up with, well, you're never going to get something this big with anybody else, as far as I know. So we've got links to the trucks in the description below. And if you guys have any ideas on future videos or you have more questions, please feel free to comment. I try to answer everybody in the comments below. And this Sunday, we're going to be taking her out. I think we'll have our ESC and motor in and maybe even do a run with some different wheels and tires. So stay tuned and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Have a good night.